Housewives of Miami, y'all. So, 2 episodes came on this past week, and I'm just now getting to them, y'all. Before this new week start up, they come on this week. And I think we back to 1 episode again. But let's get into it. We got episode 10. So first up, like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. So I'm getting ready for the trip to go to Seville, Spain. I hope I'm pronouncing the right sense. Alex got a problem with Americans pronouncing the name wrong. Girl, I don't live there. So we got the ladies getting ready for the trip and everything. They all just getting ready. And I love that Frankie always tells his mama about herself. I love it. I love every time she asks Frankie for his advice and he gives it to her straight. But she doesn't. I said the thing about it, Alexis doesn't listen to her children. She got 2 boys and you don't listen to nothing they tell you. Nothing at all. They give you advice and you don't listen to it, but you want them to listen to you and your no good husband that you have. But yeah, let's move on past that. That's a side note. So let's get into they show the ladies getting ready to go to the airport and everything. And as they at the airport, the ladies that were going on a commercial airline, they was waiting on Lisa. Lisa was supposed to be in there for been there 2 hours. They was been there like 2 hours for the check-in, and she was not there. They didn't get a call or anything from that woman, and they worried about like what's going on. She ain't calling nothing, and so she ended up missing the flight. So we move on to Stephanie. So Stephanie finally made it. Everybody else on her plane that was supposed to be there, and she finally get there. So that and all that good stuff. We end up finding out she ended up gifting the ladies on the plane with nice gifts and stuff, Also, we ended up having there ended up being a little conversation where Stephanie asks, so how is it going with you and Adriana and Julia? They besties, but she went, yeah, because there was a little issue there. And Adriana was very, Adriana very upfront. Adriana said, my issue was that she didn't, I'm her bestie and she don't have my back. She don't have my back. She didn't say that, this is not my plane. So if this was my plane, then I said, girl, this ain't got shit to do with you just being your damn plane. I said, that's your friend. That is your friend. That's your best. That's supposed to be your best friend. And you don't care. All you care about is yourself and moving up the status. It's like, what is Alexis and Marisol giving you that? I said, them 2 people are nobodies. They can't give you nothing. I said, the person that's giving you everything is your wife, Martina, who's the biggest star out of all them people. Celebrity wise, it's that. So I'm a little confused, but that's a whole nother thing. So, that situation went on. We move on past that. So they actually then got to Seville and everything. And they got there, they at the hotel and stuff like that. We ended up finding out that Lisa still ain't got there yet. But we got Stephanie, Larson, Julia, and Adriana. They there and they went to check in and everything, and come to find out that Julia gave this presidential suite to Alexis. I said, okay, girl. Then come to find out, Stephanie's husband upgraded her suite to a presidential suite and gave her, because her birthday had just passed or whatever. So he surprised her with gifts and everything. So we got to see the suite and all that. She got Chanel gifts and all that good stuff. And we ended up finding a little tea about Adriana. Adriana said she used to get gifts and stuff like that from an older man she was dating and everything. And then all of a sudden he passed. I said, girl, you supposed to get that ring first, girl. You supposed to get that ring. You supposed to get that ring, girl. But yeah, after that, they ended up going down. Okay. So they ended up after all of that, they check in or whatever. They go downstairs, go to the bar and everything. Stephanie, Larson, Adriana, and Julia and them, they waiting on the other ladies to get to the hotel and everything. So Stephanie tells how she felt about the whole situation that happened with her and Alexis. To the girl, she just venting, and she feels like Alexis is, insecure. She feel like Lexus go to bed at night, with some self-esteem issues and feeling entitled, etc. and stuff like that. And then the ladies ended up coming, Alexis Marisol and them ended up coming in, and everybody hugging and whatever, and Julia hugs Alexis and tell, girl, we were just talking about you. I said, bitch. I said, girl, you ain't let them get in the door real quick, girl, until you start running at the mouth. And so, Adriana said, dang. In her confession, like, who is this heifer? I don't even know who this woman is. I said, please, I think I know who this woman is. This is truly her. She didn't get to where she at in life for no reason. She had to step over people to get to the top. I'm sorry to say it, but that's what it seemed like. So, everybody seeing, the ladies that was already at the bar, Stephanie and Larson seeing it. So Alexa said, okay, Alexa, I don't care. You know, it's what it is. So, they hug and then they went out to go check in. And so at this point, Stephanie couldn't, but Stephanie was like, I can't believe she did that. I can't believe we just got off the plane. We ain't even been here we ain't been here for a few minutes. So when Julia finally came back after she got finished talking to Alexis and and whatever, then she called her out. She said, girl, I can't believe you did that. We ain't even been here this long. You going around telling something. What I just told that we was talking about her. What was the point of that? What was it? I said, she being fake. She said, but you want to stir the pot? Bitch, we can keep stirring this whole entire time we here. I got a big ass spoon. I said, it's definitely crazy, but I'm here for it. I like the drama. Because even Lawson called Julia out on it because Lawson felt like it was wrong too. Like, she wasn't saying anything. It's like she was not saying nothing. She was just expressing how she felt about the situation and stuff, and that was it. But you went back to tell. But Julia gonna do Julia. Julia said, I don't like the way you speaking to me and stuff like that. I said, Julia, you doing too much this season, and you always showed your colors, but this season you truly showed your colors. Definitely when it came to Gertie. And I don't really like it. And I don't like you anyway. But let's move on past them. Let's get into we move past them. Okay. So after that, they get ready for tonight. They get ready for dinner and stuff. And we got Larson and Stephanie. So Larson and Stephanie get ready. As they get ready, Larson and Stephanie have a little chit chat as they getting dressed. And Stephanie want to hook Larson up with, somebody, a banker, a lawyer, something like that, stockbroker. But that ain't Larson's speed. Larson like to stay up all night. So she looking for a young. And she said, so they throw a little shade back and forth. Larson said, you don't go to bed until you don't go to bed until maybe about you don't go to bed until about maybe 9 o'clock or something like that. 6 or 9. I said, damn girl. So Stephanie, well, Stephanie said, we do go out, we do stay up past, we do stay up about 10. Anything past 10, that's trouble. I said, that type of shade with your friend, that is nice. And fun shade, it's cute, ain't no mad. It's like, you don't see that a lot on a lot of these shows. But that was a little nice cute shade they did with each other. Wasn't no issue there. So at dinner, y'all. So Marisol, I said this dinner, y'all, was a mess. So Marisol got a singer there, Seville, male singer. Now, baby. Now, come here. I don't know what he was performing, but the way he was performing, I was like, wait a minute. What's going on here? I don't understand nothing he's saying. I said he was giving everything he had in his soul to Alexis, because Alexis was in tears. Her and Marisol, they was in tears, baby. I said, the singing was terrible. It was truly terrible. I mean, terrible. You had Larson, Stephanie, and Adriana over there cracking up. They were weaker than weak. I said they a mess, but I would have been over there cracking up too. Because as he got to the end, it got worse. It was like, oh my God. I said, I bust out laughing. I said, I can't believe he just did that. He thought he was giving a show. He gave one to Alexis and Marisol. Because apparently Alexis lived over there in Seville when she was in her 20s and stuff for what, 2-3 years until she was 23, something like 23, 24. And I'm like, okay, girl. Yeah, so that's her favorite place to go. And I said, girl, he would have rocked your world that night if you was thinking about it. So after the performance and stuff, they ended up chit-chatting about they ended up talking about Lisa because Lisa ain't there yet. And come to find out, Lisa did contact Alexis. She did contact Alexis and tell Alexis that she had to go from London. She had to go from Miami to London and then take a train. She was on a train coming to Seville, however you pronounce it. Yeah, so they was talking bad and negative about Lisa and saying she late, she don't consider her friends and stuff like this. I said, okay, all righty. I said, okay, y'all. I said, okay. It's what it is at this point. I said, it's crazy. I said, for side notes, it's crazy how y'all got so much heat for Lisa. But when it's like now y'all so focused on her being late, but if she was talking and being vocal about Lenny, as she usually is, it'll be an issue. But she hasn't been focused. She hasn't been anything about Lenny. She actually been more quiet than usual, which is not normal for Lisa. And I'm being very honest about it. It's like y'all wanted her to be more considerate of y'all, and she's being more, to me, she's being more considerate than usual. Well, not involving y'all in anything most likely that's going on. She holding it in. But now that she's holding it in and she's not being considerate to the point of being selfish and the rightful Lisa that she is, it's an issue. And that's like she can't win either way. It's really crazy. But that was just a sad note. Let's move on. So we ended up getting into Lexus and Stephanie ended up getting down and dirty to their issue because Lexus wanted to know why she was talking about her and everything. And Larson even said, Larson spoke up for Alexis, spoke up for Larson, for Stephanie, and said, girl, she was just telling how she felt about the situation that went on between y'all. And that was it. It wasn't nothing that Julia needed to tell you about. And so her and Alexis going back and forth and getting down to the thing, to the point where Stephanie's told her about herself again. Stephanie said, you self-centered and everything else. What she said at the bar, and it went back and forth. She said, you start calling me names. You call me a dog name. And Alexa stuck by what she said. Calling her a chihuahua and stuff like that. I said, dang. I said, okay, girl, we gonna stay there. And stuff. And they went back and forth. And Stephanie ended up, at that point, Stephanie was just like, I'm over this stuff. And Stephanie just apologized about bringing up the whole Todd thing at the beginning, throwing out the trash or whatever, paraphrasing. And so she did that. And so she apologized. Alexis apologized for what she did. And they moving forward. And Alexis said, oh, now I think we'll be good friends. I said, girl, you a damn lie. Because I said, that girl got more money than you. And that girl got a good man. And you in limbos with yours. So after that, after the dinner, Lisa ended up finally arriving. And she ended up checking in. She arrived might as well say she arrived the day later. And she goes to Alexis and Marisol room to talk to them. And they asked her, they were concerned about her, say, what's going on? What's going on? How you doing? So we so happy to see you. But what happened? She's like, oh, it's nothing happened, y'all. Nothing happened. And stuff. They trying to get down to the dirt, trying to tell her that, everybody mad at you because you didn't show up. You always late and stuff. We need to know what we trying to help you out to see what's going on so we can have your back. She's like, oh, y'all need to worry about that. I ain't worried about them and stuff like that. And telling her that she need to be more considerate and stuff like that. Lisa said, Lisa said, we on vacation. I'm in a good mood. And it's what it is. She like, fuck them. Lisa's like, I don't care. I don't care about none of it. But when she said in the confession that, they'll realize they'll be saying sorry to me when they find out what really going on. I said, girl, no, they won't. No, they won't. They wouldn't. They don't really care. They don't. But that's what went on there. That's all that happened this episode. Yeah. That's all that happened this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. It's your boy Paula, and I get back at y'all later.